We are set to go. Are we live at the Nuyorican Poets Cafe page? Are we live? Are we live? Let me know. Give me the signal. Yes, everybody turn off your phones, please. It is a Friday night. It is December 23rd. The holidays are upon us and the cold weather is too, but we're keeping it roasty and toasty up in here. Yes, in this historic space, the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Welcome everyone. Today is a super special occasion because we are celebrating the lyrical legacy of Basquiat, Jean-Michel Basquiat, who frequented the Nuyorican Poets Cafe back in the 80s, and we are here with his niece, Sophia, Loren, Heriveaux.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
How does it feel to be here?
It feels great to be at the Nuyorican. Clearly it's a spot where there's been many different artists. You know, I see this wall with lots of paintings, and you see, you know, this graffiti booth and whatnot. Like, it looks lively, like, you know, that there's evidence that there have been a lot of passionate people who have existed in this space. So it's really nice to be at this location where Jean-Michel was himself, and before you guys do this remodeling while it's in its original.
That's right.
You know,
take this all in this space, the way that it looks, because it is going to change. But it has looked like this for almost 50 years. We're going to be celebrating 50 years in 2023.
Pretty incredible.
Yes, 1973 was a super great year. Hip hop started in 1973. The Nuyorican Poets Cafe was opened in 1973. And I was born in 1973. So I'll be
of them all.
You're sweet, very sweet. I'll be celebrating January 21st. And wow, okay. People are calling in. People are trying to break down the doors, knowing what it is that we are doing. But everyone has to wait. What I did want to say, though, about Jean-Michel Basquiat was that he was born in 1960 on December 22nd. So yesterday we were at the exhibit ourselves on his birthday. We met that day.
Yeah.
And we are connecting in such a beautiful way. He would have been 62 years old yesterday. And he transitioned in 1988 at the age of 27, leaving behind an artistic body of work that has influenced the world with its cryptic messages layered within images of faces, animals, brand names, and unorthodox use of colors, modern hieroglyphics created by a Brooklyn-born creative of Haitian and Puerto Rican descent. I had been exposed to his art nearly 30 years ago, but after seeing the Basquiat King Pleasure exhibit yesterday, my respect grew, my love grew, as well as my understanding of his passion for becoming the artist that he is known as today. He was on a mission to become the greatest artist of our century, and he succeeded with art that has sold in record-breaking auctions. So, Jean-Michel Basquiat, tell us, because a lot of people know of his Haitian roots and his Haitian connection, but very few people know about his Puerto Rican, connection. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so my grandmother, her name is Matilde, and she herself was not born in Puerto Rico. She was born in Brooklyn, but her parents are Puerto Rican, or were Puerto Rican. And what's so interesting actually is that when Jean-Michel was young, he definitely had a little bit more of a Puerto Rican influence, I would say, in his life, because he actively would interact with his cousins and his tias and tios who were Puerto Rican. You know, he would he frequently would visit his grandmother, and he was like best friends with his younger cousin Ruben Andrades, who, you know, were all this Puerto Rican side. And so, to your point, it's very interesting that I think a lot of people are more familiar with his Haitian side, when he definitely had like that Puerto Rican culture that he was familiar with as well.
So his mom, Matilde, was born in Brooklyn. So, you know, the fact that what makes us Nuyorican is, you know, Nuyorican are Puerto Ricans in New York. I'm a Nuyorican. I'm first generation Nuyorican, but my parents came from Puerto Rico. And do you know what part of Puerto Rico Matilde was from?
Well, her parents.
Her parents.
Yeah, San Jose.
San Jose. Okay, cool. So his Puerto Rican connection is very Nuyorican.
Oh yeah.
So he was more Nuyorican, you would say, or than Haitian than his Haitian side?
I think that growing up in New York as an immigrant or as the kin of immigrants is inherently a bit confusing, right? And so definitely a mix. I don't think that I would claim claim any party for him, but
Absolutely. Well, you know, there's such a mystique, you know, behind his person and his history. Can you share something about him that most people don't know?
Yeah, well, besides the fact that I think that, you know, he was more than just a figure who, there's an intro, okay. He was more than just a figure who went to parties and was like kind of friends with everyone in New York, but as we mentioned, he would come to poetry slams and he would travel the world, and he was interested in food and wine and clothes and things like that. And so one of the things that I'll mention is that I think not as many people are aware that in 1987, Jean-Michel walked for Comme des Garçons. He was a model for them. At the time, they wanted to use like non-professional models. They wanted to use kind of regular people regular people in quotes, like not just non-models, you know? And he was one of them. He really had a kick in the whole experience. So he traveled to Paris and he was dressed. He had like a few trench coats and he had some menswear suits that he was doing, and he had his like little stint as a model. Yeah.
I did notice that there was a trench coat in the.
You can find that trench coat at King Pleasure.
Yes, you can see it in person. It did have energy, you know, as did everything else. You know, if you have not seen that exhibit, really, I implore you all to go see it before it closes. It's so fascinating. So, what is your favorite piece in the exhibit?
That is a tough one. I'm asked that all the time, but I think that in this era of time, one of my favorites, you know what? More recently, one of my favorites is a piece that is in one of the last 3 galleries, and it says bird on the bottom with a black circle or a black oval and like a white third tier. And I say that because recently we had a collaboration with the Black Fashion Fair, and for that event we had lots of great designers, Black designers in New York, create pieces that were inspired by his work. And I cannot tell you how taken back I was, in a good way, when I saw the piece that resulted from that painting. And I remember when I first entered the room and looked, and I was browsing, I wasn't quite sure what painting this was inspired by. But then when you go to the exhibit, there was like a particular window and a particular angle that you had to look at the dress, and it, in your vantage point, you could see exactly like the same curvature of the cutout matched the oval on the painting, and at the same proportioned area of the dress is where like the white block of the painting existed as well. So at the moment, that's like, that tickles me. But I genuinely have a million favorites. I really do.
Yeah, I could not imagine how you could pick. It was, just the things that I saw, it was hard to choose what I loved most because of the stories that they were telling and, the different, just the themes. And sometimes it was, more general and playful, but then it also, dug deep into societal issues. So it was absolutely fascinating. What prompted the process of your family conceptualizing the exhibit?
I know that when my grandfather Gerard died in 2013, and the estate was then passed on to my aunt and my mother, Janine and Lisan. That is when they realized that there were a lot of things that they wanted to do with the estate that were new and that were that like made them quite excited and riveted. And they wanted to share a lot of the paintings that they had. They knew that they were, this was something that the public could really appreciate, and that it could be an opportunity for them to tell this story in their voice, with a new sense of creativity, and share new stories that the world doesn't know yet, because of the fact that we're sharing parts of our personal stories, our personal lives, and their childhood that were previously unknown about things.
How does it feel that now that's out into the world? Have you gotten a different response? Has it reached a new demographic? Or
it's humbling and it's honoring every day, really. I mean, just yesterday when we visited the exhibit, we were stopped by someone who heard us doing like our little promotional video for this event right now, and he came running up to us with his daughters, and he was saying that he's a large fan, that he found out that it was his birthday yesterday and felt so compelled to come, and so then he was duly honored by the fact that we were present that day, and that he felt that it was quite meant to be. And I think that just the fact that there are so many people who feel so touched by the family and by this artwork is more than flattering. It's just, like I said, like genuinely very humbling and honoring.
He was moved to tears. He was moved to tears. He was with his family, and he was really so excited, and also because he could see the resemblance, your uncle in your face, and he just was. Oh my goodness, excited. So do you get that a lot about your?
I get that all the time. I remember when I was I was quite young. I don't exactly remember how old I was, but I met Nina Nozay for the first time, and Nina Nozay was Jean-Michel's first art dealer. Big pivotal role in his life, incredible woman. But when she first met me, she looked at me and she was like, "You look just like Jean-Michel." And she's this Italian woman, and I remember at first I didn't exactly know how to take that. Like, you're relating me to a deceased man, and I was like young, but now it really is such a compliment, because I have such respect and like the utmost interest in Jean-Michel. So I think that it's the fact that our faces are connected as well as like this wonderful gift, I think. But yes, a lot of people notice that.
Well, you're an artist in your own right. I didn't really get to share your bio, but you're a director, producer based here in New York City, and you studied film and television at NYU's Tisch School of the Arts. You have your own production company called Goldfin Films, and you've created films of all genres. You told me yesterday that you really, haven't, chosen one style, and you've been delving in all these different styles of film and themes. And your work has taken you around the world, independently, out on your own. And I think that's absolutely tremendous. And when you're not filmmaking or on calls, you're playing a trumpet, wandering the world, or shredding a Peloton, which I didn't know what a Peloton was, but apparently you shred those.
All of those things are true. All of the above is true. I play the trumpet, and I love traveling. I love the Peloton, and I am a filmmaker.
Yes, you are. And a lot of the videos that we saw in the exhibit were filmed by you.
Yeah, all of them. I did a series. There was a series of interviews that I directed and produced for the exhibit. They're sort of dabbled throughout the entire exhibit, but I'm very proud of all of them. And it's just funny because, you know, each interview that we did, we probably interviewed like 22 people or something like that, and each interview that we did was like at least an hour. So there's so much footage that was, you know, not shared, and so you get these like nice, like concise snippets of these stories from these people when you visit the exhibit.
Yes, so that was just enlightening, the stories that we heard, and you know, that coming from them directly, your family, and just seeing them together, and it was beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautifully done.
Really appreciate that. I really
May
do.
you continue to make more and more films.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. Really, I do.
So, you know, we're here at the legendary Nuyorican Poets Cafe, this cultural institution of almost 50 years. And, you know, we are known for poetry. And would you say that Jean-Michel was a poet?
Yes. Easy. I would say that Jean-Michel, in a way, yeah, I almost said that he was a multimedia artist. I think he definitely, I mean, clearly, like, painting was his thing. But he was, you know, he was a musician. Like, he was in that band Grey. He played the clarinet, you know?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was a model, like I've mentioned, you know, and he was a poet. Like, he wrote, he had notebooks full of lot of stanzas of work. And I would even say that when he was in his early days of artistry, when he was doing his graffiti and tagging as Samo, he was writing little poems all over the city, you know?
I read the Samo, and you know, where the name came from, and all of that. That was super amazing. His poetry was like, it is like encrypted, like hieroglyphics within the art. I know I saw some of the journals displayed, like he had one dedicated to Grace Jones, which I thought was super cool because I love Grace Jones. Who does not love Grace Jones?
No. He definitely loved her. He had a lot of idols.
You know, one of the pieces that was really beautiful was the last one that he made in his life that was dedicated, well, to his father, and we stood there and admired it together. And did you want to say maybe anything about that piece?
That piece I hold very close to my heart, I would say. And I think it's a beautiful one. I think that it's a little bit personal, but I do think that it's a beautiful piece that everybody should admire, and that the fact that it is arguably his last piece ever created, and that it was gifted to none other than his father, speaks volumes, especially if you understand, you know, their history.
The Cell, it was called. And I know that you have some poetry of Jean-Michel that you're willing to share.
I do.
That's awesome. We're going to wait for the end to do that. We're going to close out with you to share that poetry, because I'm certainly excited to hear it. And I know everybody in our, you know, studio audience and our internet audience wants to hear the words of Jean-Michel Basquiat, and then especially coming from you, from your lips.
Let's see if I can do it justice, if I can perform it well.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
So, you know, last night, well, one of the homeworks that we did, I have with me. Today we're gonna share poetry and hear poetry, original poetry, from Nico Diaz, who is my first personal assistant, who's been helping me here at the helm of the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And since we're speaking about lyrical legacy, I also have my daughter, Espada de la Luz, who's gonna recite an original poem, and I put them to task. We all had a homework to walk through the exhibit and then go home and write a poem inspired by what we felt and what we saw. So
literally less than 24 hours.
Literally less than 24. You know, what we like to say in this house, the way that we do it, when everybody writes a new poem, everybody says, "New shit!" Yes, we do that.
Good. I have to take that into my house.
So I'm gonna share the poem, and then we're gonna invite Nico and Espada to take our seats and then share their works.
Perfect.
So this is the poem that I wrote. Okay. Did you dream in color, Jean-Michel? Did you draw a line between heaven and hell? Did you create all of this to yell as you faced racism all too well? Tell me, Jean-Michel, whisper in my ear, as batons labeled ideal slipped and revealed fear, dropping raincoats and banana peels, your mind had wheels that keeps eyes turning to your art as a way to feel, reminded that your spirit is still here, and still so is what you despised. Racism and hatred is still part of our lives, but unlike your body, we have survived. But between us, even in death, you are more alive as we inch our way closer to a world that wants to die. Thank you, that's my piece. And now I would like to welcome Nico Diaz. How you doing, Nico?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
It's so riveting to watch the interview.
Oh,
That's good.
Great. Well, I'm excited to hear your piece.
Thank you. Hi, everybody, on IG Live, across the internets, the world. My name is Nico Diaz. I'm a queer Afro-Latinx artist from New York, so I'm Nuyorican, grew up in the Bronx in East Harlem. And before I dive into my piece, I'll just elucidate a little bit about my experience with Basquiat. So I studied him in college, went to Cornell University, and was just distinctly connected to him just because, similar to him, I was a speck of the grits. One of the few people of color in mostly white spaces obsessed with success, essentially, and blinded by everything I could envision for myself in the future. And so going to his art exhibit, my brain is so full from like all the inspiration of pieces and just his lived experience and like seeing the glory, but also the price a lot of the times for genius. And so this piece, which is untitled, like many of Basquiat's pieces, is just about that. And so this definitely took me on a different journey than where my poetry normally goes. So I hope you're with me for the ride. Okay, thank you. So untitled. Ramblings of a madman, mad made man, created, creator, cremated, cremator, only one letter between life and death, M. Mother, mama, Matilde, mommy, mother chiseled into her, like the letters on her birth certificate. Seasons, fall, summer, winter, spring, seasonings, salt, pepper, adobo, sazon, a year's flavors. Madman, madness, mad, made man, made men, made genius, made mad men, mad made men made mad, make men mad. Matilde, am I also made for madness? Ramblings, sing, ramble, scramblings, ramble sings, ramble, bull, ram, sings, bling, blings. A madman, mad, made for this or that, for all of that, for stardom, for making stars dumb, stars numb, stars yum, me, mad, Matilde, mommy, me, made me for madness, for sadness, for death. Cremate, create, debate, the debt we owe our lives to be mad, made men, made for madness, obsessed with success. Am I next? Thank you.
All right. Nico Diaz, everybody. Okay. Yes. Yes, I am going to pass this microphone. I would like to now, and this really fills me with so much joy because our next performer is my daughter, someone that has been in this building since baby, since childhood, growing up on this stage, and by my side. So please welcome Espada de la Luz. Hi, darling. How are you feeling?
Excited, honored.
Yes. What are your reflections thus far?
I just feel like all of my worlds are like colliding right now. Being a queer art student who went to SVA, which is where Jean-Michel also went, I feel lucky to even be in the same space as, of course, you, Jean-Michel, just being a part of a legacy, and the beauty of that, the privilege that holds.
Well, you wrote a brand new piece.
Yes.
And so I think we're ready to hear it if you're ready to share it.
Okay.
Okay, take it away, Espada de la Luz.
Thank you, guys. I think I would also like to leave this untitled, but in parentheses, legacy. I've learned legacy is like family. Enchanted footprints embedded in crossroads, connecting us to hookah-smoking cousins, tostone mashing tias, ajo and a joint between us. Unconventional, yet beautiful. Legacy. A glimpse of our motherland, not far behind. Her horizon glittering with yearning. I'll be back one day, swimming in her grace. To see the world through your eyes, raw cans of Krylon staining my nose, as you paint the secrets society keeps hidden in shame. Racism, homophobia, you know them each well. Yet you don't let them hide. Don't let them seek shelter in capitalist consumerism. No matter how well they pay, no matter how sweet it tastes, for nothing is sweeter than the truth. Queerdom, our sanctuary, self-expression, our freedom, love, our rebellion. Semblances of friendship through bittersweet conversations and meals at our favorite bar. Lucky they serve food at this hour. Flickers of community through affinity, spoken word and the tears we shed as we recite. The microphone, our therapist. The audience, our recliner. The canvas, your outlet. Our eyes your stomping grounds. Your activism, your revenge. Your satire, your critique. Call them out. Say it loud. Black, proud, brilliant, resilient. Your essence, cultivating these very same crossroads. Paved with experience, with struggle, with misunderstood intelligence, mistaken for pretty colors. And yes, they are very pretty. They're here for a reason, just as we are. Sewn to legacy like ribbon and patches on our favorite hand-me-downs. Personal, beloved, sacred, legacy. Thank you.
Woo! Yes. All right. Espada de la Luz.
What?
Yes.
No
We're getting a lot of applauses in there. Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Very well done.
Take that.
Yes. Okay. And so now I would like to welcome back to the stage. Maybe we could sit right here just so we get a little closer for this final share of words. Is this okay? This angle good? Everyone is good? Okay, fantastic. And so now Sophia Loren Heriveaux is going to share Jean-Michel's words. Thank you.
So this is a poem from the notebooks of Jean-Michel, and I will recite them now. Further resistance to the forces of the nation of law and justice, like some bad, stupid cowboy turning to see the clock. The man in the white hat drop it before dawn with their expressions, unchanging, surrounded by guns that melt sunglasses. Economically scrambling from the B-29 ray, stalling before it ended, success had been achieved. A yellow flash, a 2-story house, blown to pieces. We took pictures rapidly. It's time to get out of here.
Yes! The words of Jean-Michel Basquiat. And this is what Lyrical Legacy is all about. It has been an absolute honor to share this moment with all of you. Thank you so much, Sophia.
My pleasure.
For being here. Thank you, Nico Diaz. Thank you, Espada de la Luz. Thank you, the Loisaida Center. Thank you, Basquiat King Pleasure Exhibit. Please go get your tickets. Go out and see this exhibit. Every single person in this studio audience, go and see it before it closes on January 1st. It's the best way to end 2020. So end it right with all the pleasure that King Basquiat gave us. It's just so moving and tremendous. Muchas gracias. Sac passe. And thank you. Let them know how to follow you. Maybe let them know.
My personal Instagram is Sophia Herx, SOPHIAHERX. And of course, if you're on this live, we're live at Basquiat King Pleasure. And so you'll be able to follow us there as we continue and take this exhibit that's closing on January 1st and bring it to LA.
West Coast!
West Coast!
Yeah,
keep up with all of the details on there, and we'll be in touch with everyone. Hope everybody has a great Friday night.
Yes, and happy holidays. Yep, follow me if you would like, La Bruja NYC. Follow the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Visit Nuyorican.org to hear about all of our programming. If you have not visited this historic place, really, I implore you to do that too, because these bricks, if they could speak, would tell you so many stories. Luckily, when we renovate this in about a year, the bricks will stay, but everything else is going to change. So it's like an exhibit in itself. It's a living museum in itself. So come and see it. And I think we are golden. Thank you to everyone that made this happen, the staff. Thank you so much. And
See
until
you
next
next time.
time.
Ciao.